Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm finally back and better than ever. I've been gone for a long time. I feel like it's been years since I've been gone, but I'm now back and I'm so excited to start filming again. So stay tuned to be updated a little bit on my life. Alright guys, so I already prepped my face. And I'm gonna be doing my eyebrows first. Days that I like my eyebrows, and then there's days that I don't like my eyebrows. So let's see what type of day it is today. We'll enter some questions. Okay, so one of the first questions that I have is, how are you so beautiful inside and out? Thank you. I love you. But I don't know, sometimes I feel like there's these days that I feel like so positive about myself. So the answer to that is, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm really positive, but then there's these days that I just feel like so negative about myself and everything that's going on. And it's, I don't know, I guess nowadays it's kind of hard to kind of like stay positive for me, because there's just so much going on in life. The whole staying beautiful inside and out, I think it just has to do with you. I feel like I'm pretty, sometimes I feel like I'm ugly, sometimes I can be really positive, and then there's these days that I'm just like, bro, like what the heck is going on? Like, I think it was like a couple days ago, I woke up and I was like in a super good mood, and then later on in the day I was just like, I don't want to do this. And so that was one of the reasons why I hadn't been filming, like I've been putting it off for so long. It's because like in the mornings I would be like, oh yes, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna film and this and that, and then by the time that I had to film, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what to film, or I don't even know like what to do. I don't even feel like getting ready. Next question. I'm dead. Okay, so Anayansi asked, how's your process of starting YouTube and what was the most difficult thing? So it's actually a funny story because a lot of people had been like messaging me, and they're like from my Snapchat stories and my Instagram stories, and they were like, dude, like you're so fun, like I feel like you're always doing stuff, and like you are always like remodeling your room, and like you have like all these really cool stuff, and like you do these really cool stuff. You should start a YouTube channel. And it was like a whole bunch of people who would ask me that I should start a YouTube channel. And I think it was so I started my YouTube in January. But like before that, like people had just been messaging me like, oh, like I feel like if you had a YouTube channel, like it would be really good and this and that. And so then I think it was like really spontaneous because January, like I think it was December, like the last week of December, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go for it. I think the hardest part of like doing YouTube is being consistent with the videos, because there's times that you'll just like run out of stuff to do. Even if it's the worst part or like the hardest part, I think it's still the coolest part, because you're gonna always want to be finding new things to do to like entertain you guys. So it could be a good and a bad thing at the same time. Next question. Ale asked, how many kids do you want to have? Love you, you're gorgeous. Love you, you're gorgeous too. But I want 3 kids in total. I want to have 2, and I've always wanted to adopt one. I've always wanted to adopt a kid. I get so much shit for it, but I don't care. Some people tell me like, why are you gonna adopt kids if you can have your own, and why are you gonna adopt this, and whatever. But I don't know, it's just something I want to do. I've always said that I wanted to adopt a kid when I was older, whenever I had my own. I don't know if I would adopt a baby, like a newborn, or if I would adopt someone older. But I definitely do want to adopt. And Osio and I have talked about it before, and he said he's fine with it. But I guess we just have to be in the moment to see. Another question that I got is, how's your crafting business going? And it's going. Okay, I'm telling you, sometimes I feel like I want to do it, and then sometimes I feel like I don't want to do it. But for the most part, I really like to craft. I have a lot of things that I want to do, but and I don't do it for the money, because a lot of people tell me like, why are you so cheap and this and that. Like I really just genuinely like to do it. At first I was just like, oh no, like I don't want to start a business. I don't want to start a business with it. First reaction, like I wanted to do it for like me, and so like our wedding was coming up this year, so I was just like, oh yeah, like for the wedding and for my godson's parties and like all of that. Like I just wanted it for myself. So Nayeli asked me how the married life was. The married life is good. It's really good. You know, ups and downs. I feel like we both have very high standards for ourselves that sometimes it's not possible, and we like stress because it's not possible. Nothing's impossible, but sometimes there's just like you have to start lower than what you anticipated just to like actually start somewhere. I look crazy right now. For this next question, I did want to bring Osil in because it's like a topic that we're both going to talk about, and it's a topic like that we both went through. So one of the questions that I got was how we were doing after we had gotten sick with COVID, because back in April we actually got sick with COVID, and it was kind of tough, to be honest. So we're kind of just gonna I kind of just want to talk to you guys about this like together. Because my story is very, very, very different from his story, just because I didn't have any symptoms. The only symptom that, well, I had the symptoms, but the only one that I had was loss of taste and smell. And then, while on the other hand, Osil did have like the fevers, the body aches, the headaches I had too, but not as bad. And then like the fevers, the cough, the headaches, the body aches. Like everything else he had. So it's kind of like I can't tell you like, oh yeah, I went through it as hard. Like I went through it hard because I didn't, but he did. So we kind of just want to tell you guys a little bit of what we did. Low-key, it was really a tough month. But we're finally starting to go back to our normal selves, because sometimes I don't feel like we're there yet.
The doctors didn't know much about it, so that was kind of the hard part. Now, in July, I won't say that doctors know everything about COVID, but they do know more than they did in April.
It's June.
Or June. So, yeah, back in April 17th, I started with really, really, really bad body aches, and to the point where I couldn't even move my eyes. Like, I would move them to the side and it would hurt really, really bad. I would also have I had a fever for just that Friday. But what was killing me was the body aches. Zitlalitl didn't have anything then. That Friday night or Saturday night, I can't remember. I was trying to eat some hot Cheetos and I couldn't even taste the hot Cheetos. Like, I couldn't taste them at all. I lost my taste and smell for about 4 or 5 days. Body aches lasted for about 3 days. Saturday and Sunday were probably the worst because my whole chest and my back would burn like really, really bad. It wasn't hurting, it was just burning. Like my muscles were like aching that it would burn so much. I don't think I had fever either one of those days, but it was just my body was burning.
Yeah, you didn't have
not
fever.
yet, not yet. And you have a fever, we need to go to the doctor because it's not looking good. So I was like, okay, fine. So I went to the doctor. Doctor was like, okay, so tell me your symptoms. I told him. He's like, okay, we're going to go ahead and test you for the flu, and we're going to test you for strep throat. They both came back negative. They took blood out. They did blood exams. They said I had an infection through the blood samples, but they didn't know what infection it was. They were like, if I was you, just because you don't have taste or smell, I would really want you to go get tested for COVID because I think you might have it. When he told me that, I was like, fuck, dude, like, how the fuck do I have COVID? Started looking up spots. At the time, we didn't have any testing sites. The care facility, it was new. They were like, we are doing COVID testing, but it's going to be $120 each person that gets tested. I was like, no way. They were like, yeah, it's going to be $120. I was like, you know what? I got to do this because I'm around my family and everybody, so I have to get tested. And at the time, you couldn't get your results in 15 minutes, or you couldn't get them in 2 days. You were waiting 6, 7, 8 days to get your results, even 9 days. So, like, the doctor gave me some antibiotics, some infection medicine. You literally take the medicine that the doctor gave me every day for about 3 days. Every time I took medicine, I would run a fever in the afternoon.
Yeah,
every single time. 30 minutes later.
Yeah, so his pill was like scheduled to be taken at 3, and like literally by 4, he already had like a high fever, like in the hundreds,
102.
and then he was feeling like really weak, and it was crazy.
So I took that the first day, took that the second day, and it was the same thing. The third day, like in the morning, before 3 o'clock, I would feel fine. I didn't have a fever. I was perfectly fine. I felt good. What was it? I think it was Thursday or Friday was the last time that I took the pill. I think it was Friday. I told my mom and Zitlalitl, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this pill, and if this, I don't have a fever right now, but if I take this medicine and I get a fever after I take this medicine, I'm gonna stop. I took the medicine. All said and done, 30 minutes later, my fever was at 101. I was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not taking this medicine anymore. You know what, I'm gonna do this with just water, juice, vitamin C, teas, anything that I could find that was natural. I started feeling better that Saturday, and I was just like, you know what, I got my results back that Saturday afternoon, and the lady calls me. She was like, hey, is this Ociel? I was like, yeah, it's date of birth, whatever, all this so and so. I was like, yeah, this is me. She's like, okay, your results came back. I was like, okay. She was like, you're positive. I was like, fuck. Everything just collapsed because I was around my parents at the time. I was around Zitlalitl's parents. So I was like, fuck, if I'm positive, my mom's already feeling sick. She's probably positive. My dad's already gaining a fever and losing and getting a body aches. He's probably fucking sick, and they're older. So I was like, I'll probably get out of it and I'll be okay. But they're going to be it's going to be harder for them, you know what I mean? It's going to be like tougher for them to get out of it because they are older, they're in their 40s. We started seeing them get better. Zitlalitl got her taste back, I got my taste back, my mom got her taste back, my dad got her taste back. As soon as that started happening, we waited about 3 or 4 days. All this happened in about 2 weeks. We waited about 4 days and we were like, you know what, we're going to go get tested again. So we went to go get tested, everybody. We went to go get tested. We all came back negative. We were so happy, so relieved. And yeah, we were basically in quarantine for a whole entire month, from April 17th to around May, towards the end of May.
Yeah, because so I went to work. The last day I went to work was April 24th, because I remember it was a week right before my birthday. And obviously I was still working because I felt fine or whatever, but I was still putting people at work in danger. So I was kind of scared because I was like, I think I'm the youngest one that works at my job. So I was just like, if I get people infected, like, it's gonna be bad. But thankfully, I didn't get anybody infected. Like, nobody got the virus from me. All my coworkers tested negative. It was just me that tested positive.
Yeah, that's my COVID story.
Yeah, and so it was crazy, and I kind of just wanted to bring him for this, just so we could tell you guys our story and why we've been kind of MIA a little. We didn't tell our friends we had COVID until my birthday on April 28th because I remember they did a drive-by for me because it was like when everything was closed, and they did a drive-by at the house. My parents came, my uncles came, my best friends came, and what's it called? And so we told them because Ociel didn't go outside. I was the only one that went outside. Ociel didn't go outside. She's like, oh, we called them like after, and they were like, oh, the reason why I wasn't outside is because we tested positive for COVID. And they were like, oh, like, why didn't you tell us? Like, I felt kind of like weird and rude not telling our friends because they're our friends. They should have known from the beginning. So like they even told us, they're like, why didn't you tell us? Like, why didn't you guys tell us? We could have helped you guys with anything that you needed. And so then after that we told them, they were like very helpful. Like, they would ask if we were okay, and like if we needed them to bring us groceries and stuff. Like, they did us the favor to go to the store and bring the groceries to us. And then, like, I know Carla and like my friends, they would even, like, if we were craving something, they would go get it for us, and then they would bring it to us, just so we could like still kind of eat. And then Ociel mentioned that I got my taste and smell back, and yeah, I tested. So Ociel got his results on Saturday, and then I went the next day to get my test done. And I got my taste and smell back that same day. Whenever I got the test done, they like poked my nose. And I don't know if any of you have gotten the test done, but it's kind of rough. That day, I literally got my taste and smell back. Yeah, so that was our story about COVID, and a little Q&A for you guys. I didn't answer all the questions that I got, but I think I'll do another Q&A maybe further along, more in depth about like the questions or whatever that were asked. But if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.